Hi guys, I'd like to introduce you to Cassidy. Cassidy has generously agreed to come and be taped while I do a demonstration of cranial unwinding with her. Cassidy, what brings you here other than you're in pain?
Well, it's really just localized to my neck mostly. My head feels super heavy all the time. I can't get any relief, and it's just going down into my spine, my back. It's really messing up my days.
and what else do you have? Like, you had some digestion issues, is that correct?
Yeah, really badly actually. It was interesting when you said that earlier because that's exactly what's happening to me.
So there's several things going on with Cassidy, and none of them it's a mystery. It's not like I'm not psychic and I knew that there were digestion issues going on. It's just that what I know is I know plumbing and electric in the body. I know, blood flow and nerve flow in the body. And what's going on with Cassidy is really, this is a classic, this is where cranial unwinding really shines. So what I'd like to do is show you guys a couple of things, actually several things. First I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my fingers in your ears. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. Yay. So when I go like that, there's the top of the ear, there's the top of the ear. You can see that they're not matched. And not only they're not matched, the left is up and the right is down and forward. And you can see that also in her shoulders, where the shoulder is down and forward. And you've got the the muscular attachments, ligaments, bones, and everything else are also attached. So of course the shoulder is going to rotate down just like that. And then I want you to take a look at her hips. And I want you to notice the difference of the height of the hip. This left side is higher than the right. And you can't see this on film, but what happens is the left side is, the musculature is contracted. It's now doing the job of the bones because it has to hold that hip up. Because what's going on with Cassidy is as her cranium is shifted, it's literally pulling the spinal cord, and the body, rather than impinge and rip the spinal cord out of the brain, says, you know what, we're going to lift that hip up. And that's a really brilliant strategy. But what happens is the QL and a lot of the other musculature, the psoas, becomes hypercontracted because it's now having to do the job of the bony prominences of the bones of the skeletal system because it's going to contract all the time. In order to hold that position. You can't hold, a hip does not go up by itself. It can only be held there through muscular contraction. And it's doing it because that's a brilliant strategy to protect her spinal cord and her brain. So let's just show you a couple of things. I'm going to stick my thumbs on the base of on her occiput, right behind her ears. And you can see when you really begin to look at where this is, and how my hands don't even come close to matching up. There's a huge rotation going on within her cranium. And when you do that, when the cranium is rotated like that, you're taking the atlas, and the atlas, because it does its main job, it gets its name Atlas from the Greek god who held up the world on its shoulders. This is what holds up your world. So her atlas is now going to conform to what's going on with her cranium, which is, again, a brilliant strategy because that's its job. It's got to do that. So it's going to rotate down and forward along with her cranium. And what you have with the atlas, you have, this is the vertebral artery coming up through the jugular foramen. And so you're compromising the blood flow coming to the brain, and not only to the brain, but from the brain, because in here, you've got, through the jugular foramen, you've got the vagus nerve, the jugular vein, where 90% of the cranial drainage comes from, is now being compromised because it's also twisted, spinal accessory nerve, and you've got the hypoglossal nerve. Now, all of these nerves are very important. The most important nerve we're going to focus on today is going to be the vagus nerve, because the vagus nerve innervates every organ of the body except for the lower third of the descending colon. Your heart rate, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, all of that are affected by the vagus nerve. And so what happens with Cassidy is because of this rotation Her vagus nerve is coming out right here, and it's now being pulled up too. So it's going to affect all of the organs. It's called a somatic to visceral reflex arc. So the vagus nerve is being compromised, and so everything else is going to be compromised along with her digestion. And that's it. We're going to do some work, and then we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in.